It's time for the Yacht Club Show.
Needed now more than ever.
With Killer, Rev D, and Dr. Jim.
Welcome to the Yacht Club Show. This is Mike. For three retired guys, it's been very challenging getting us all together in the studio. So today's show is a compilation of some outtakes from our last recording session on September 8th. These segments didn't make the cut just because of time, so I'm going to present them today as we dive back into politics and as we offer our unique, very tongue-in-cheek solution to climate change. So this would be before the second Republican debate and before all the nonsense going on right now within the Republican Party and the ouster of McCarthy as Speaker of the House. So without further ado, here are the outtakes from our September 8th recording session. Well, so what else is going on in the world, guys?
I think there seems to be some election coming up pretty soon. That's
what I hear.
Do you think people start getting interested now, the masses, or you think it's still too early?
No, well, I think it's too early. I mean,
I think after January, people will start.
I think there is. It's a media circus at this point. It's just a media event. The nightly news is like they have nothing else to talk about, and so this is what you get beat over the head with. And a lot of people are even more removed because they feel like this circus has been going on now since, 2016 or something.
It's getting old for me. I have to pay attention to it anymore. It's just the same old. Trump's the most evil person to walk the planet, and he should be behind bars, and don't look this way as far as Hunter Biden and Joe, it's...
I certainly don't want to in any way think about justifying anything Trump did.
No.
But it is.
You can't.
It's so obvious that, first of all, there wouldn't be a single court case if he wasn't running for office, number one. And these things that they're charging him with are just seem such a stretch as to what politicians have been doing relative to what politicians have been doing for 100 years. It's very frustrating to see people that are supposed to be smart, educated people who we've entrusted running the country behaving like this.
Well, and, Jim, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you understand what's exactly what's going on right now.
Right.
And it just, you're right, it just gets old. And to Mike's point earlier, Hunter Biden's kind of given a pass. Joe, I don't know if he's dementia or not.
He's definitely slipping.
He's slipping,
we know
but
that.
how bad I don't know. But the news is done. You do not get an unbiased, I don't care,
right.
CNN, Fox, or wherever. You do not get an unbiased look at anything to really know what's going on at this point. This
is where I stand, though, on Biden. I don't care that he's running, okay? I know people are wondering, is he going to be too old to be able to complete a second term? He hasn't even finished the first term. What's it going to be like in the middle of the second term?
Right.
And so on. That's okay. He can run. But the Democrats are not giving people a choice. They say that we are for democracy. We're trying to make sure that people have a voice in their government and that the political parties are not shutting out the vote. And you've got 65% of the Democrats don't want Biden to run.
Right.
Yet there is no effort to broaden the selection or give people an option. encourage other people to run. And then if people want Biden, let them choose Biden. If
Okay.
they don't want him,
Let's talk about that for a minute. I tend to agree with you, but if I'm the incumbent,
Yeah, isn't it always automatic?
isn't it automatic?
well, I would assume there's a justification for that, except when 65% of your own party
now
doesn't want you to
you're
run.
right. That's
Good
an
point.
issue. That's an issue. But if
But I agree. I know what you're saying,
I
Dave.
just typically you would not have. There wouldn't be a question. Obama
Right.
didn't have any.
Yeah.
All right.
No.
But
I agree.
To your point, when 65%
and is it 65?
doesn't
Your
want
own
you-
party.
Is it 65% because of his age?
Well, whatever.
It's got to be.
whatever the reason.
It's got to be. It
Age,
can't be his policies or his
Whatever.
politics.
Whatever. Well, I think it's his age and the combination of his age and his vice president.
Yeah.
So
That's
there's,
the elephant in the room right there.
whatever the reason is, and I suppose somebody can argue with it's his policies, or somebody's going to say it's his age, or whatever the reason is, it has to be recognized that the vast majority of your own party don't want you to run. And if that's the case, wouldn't a party that claims to be the defenders of democracy be motivated or feel like they're obligated to provide people with a choice?
Sure.
And if the choice is Joe Biden at the end of that process, so be
So
it.
be it. Right.
But right now, I mean, there's no way that somebody's going to say, well, Kennedy is an option for you. No, he's not. He's got the lunatic fringe in his own party. But that's not a legitimate choice. You want to run Newsom or you want to run someone else?
Yeah,
That's what you got to do.
I've
then
heard
let them.
Newsom, but I'm trying to think if I've really heard of anybody else.
Well, they're talking about Whitmer.
I've heard
You
Whitmer's
heard
name
Whitmer's
as well.
name come up.
And I think she would really, if she ran, she would give him a run for the nomination. And this is what's so ironic about this election in my mind is that the only Democrat that Trump can beat is Biden, and the only Republican that Biden can beat is Trump.
Yeah.
I think if Whitmer ran, she'd crush Trump.
It seems like there's some baggage.
I don't know how she would play on the national stage, but you're right. If it's against Trump,
He was so
she'd get
draconian, though.
She's going to get the anti-Trump vote.
yes, that
without
I agree
the
with.
Biden baggage, aging baggage,
That I
and
agree with.
vice president.
But there's so much baggage there. The do as I say, not as I do, opening up the North, for
Yeah.
Oh, of
husband to
course.
get the
I mean, there's
vote,
gonna
be-
and going after barbers for crying out loud,
but
throwing them in
I know,
jail.
but,
it
all
was
of that-
so draconian.
Yeah, but that's all political fodder that's going to come out in an election. The question is, we're talking about, does the individual, you disagree with their policies or the way they handle their job in the past, but does the individual pass muster as a qualified, if that person was his office, you would say, okay, that's a legitimate professional. You wouldn't be sitting here saying, oh my goodness, what's going to happen?
No. I want to say it was a
Yeah,
Lansing
it-
barber that they threatened with
Somewhere.
jail or
I think
something.
didn't he? I don't remember.
Okemos or something.
He had to go to
Can't
court. I remember that.
Yeah,
I don't
all
remember
that
how-
stuff would come out in an election or something like that. But the general, and you're talking about Michigan, but now
Right.
when you get to, she's going to win all the other Democratic states,
Yeah.
and then then it's going to be up
Wow. Dr. Jim thinks.
No, I think he's
Whitmer
right. I think
could-
most people would not know. We know about that stuff,
Right.
But and her husband in the boat, remember
Yeah,
all that stuff.
yeah.
But that's going to come out as ancillary?
It just-
or it's just going to
stuff,
be
but-
blame the Republicans
right.
for.
That's
Well, it didn't
a-
hurt
a
Newsom
political-
either. I mean, Newsom and Whitmer, the mask mandates, and they're showing out in public, in restaurants
well,
without masks.
yeah.
And remember, same with Newsom.
We don't even need to get into that, because all of that, everything we're talking about would be legitimate if they were running. But the point is, there is no one running other than this person that nobody wants to win.
okay. So with that said, I submit that Biden is not going to run.
You've been saying that.
I just
You've been saying that,
just
Dave.
for what you're saying.
Okay.
Right there.
Then now all these other choices then may come into play.
But it's getting a little late in the game.
Yeah, but
I
the
think.
later it goes, the longer it goes on, the
more of it's gonna be
the
him.
weaker that candidate's going to be.
So I think he by the end of the year, he's got to be in or out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to make the decision by because I don't think most people
Pay attention.
are pay attention to this stuff, and I feel the economy is an issue. There's two things. You see the price of oil now.
But that's directly because of his policies, right?
Well, some of it's the Saudis and what they've cut
Yeah,
back.
but if we were self-sufficient,
he has
you know,
not helped
which-
the situation.
No,
he has not
hasn't.
helped the situation.
I think
and
the
some people may say
the
that's
inflation thing is out of sight.
I agree with you.
Arlene comes back from
I
the
agree with you.
store. Kay must do the same thing.
It's price of groceries.
She comes home and she walks in the store. You see this bag?
Yes.
$140.
And Jim, Kay never talks about never in all the years we've been married. She talks about it now. She sees
bleeds
it now.
blue.
Whatever happened to Mayor Pete? Wasn't he being groomed to be the next star of the
Even
Democrat
that,
Party?
Why isn't Mayor Pete involved in a primary? I mean, this is.
I thought he was being groomed. He was the next
yeah,
star.
he's groomed for 28 though. That's when they're going to run.
Is that what
him.
it is?
Yeah.
Don't even hear about him anymore. He's a Michigander now too.
Yeah.
He's living here?
I think he lives up in Traverse City now.
Oh, he does?
I think
didn't
so.
know that.
Yeah.
He must be up there all the time because the airlines aren't doing any better, and I don't know what he's.
So Dave thinks Biden's at some point going to bow out. It'll be interesting. What are you guys seeing on the Republican side right now?
I think we hope Trump bows out, but
Something like that. It's crazy. If you look at you look at the polls, it's not even a race at this stage. Maybe this is, we need to take all of this with a grain of salt anyway, because as Dave says, we haven't even begun to pay attention.
Right.
And the primaries, the elections have not actually been held, so you can't see yet. I think we'll have to hold our opinion for a couple of primary elections, but right now it is not looking promising.
I'm starting to form some opinions. At first I thought Tim Scott, but he was kind of a non-factor, I think, in the
He's
debate.
kind of, he's not up
He's-
to, he's just not charismatic
Right.
enough.
and that's a sad thing. But what were the three things that you mentioned? The competency,
Competency,
Communicator?
communication, and
integrity.
Ooh,
Integrity?
there even then.
Okay.
integrity.
Yeah.
Integrity is like fading fast on that list. It's
the
almost like a drawback if you have integrity.
Yeah, that's a good point. But he doesn't. The communication skill. And
Yeah.
DeSantis is the same way.
Yeah, DeSantis comes across
DeSantis
as ornery.
he's just, as a political IQ, he has none. I'm sure he's a bright guy, but he has no
Agree.
sense of, I think, to me, the standard is always Clinton. Clinton
Yes.
was like a genius.
Hey, guys!
I feel your pain.
I feel your pain.
Yeah, there's nobody on the.
You wanted to have a beer with Bill Clinton.
You do. That's
I
the
don't
one
wanna have
president
Yep.
I would always want to have a beer with.
I would not want to have a beer with DeSantis.
No, I agree.
And yet, I think his policies, strictly policies, him, Tim Scott, anybody who's running, I don't hate all of Trump's policies.
No, I know.
All
Same
right,
here.
he's just a tough.
Yeah.
He comes along with it.
Yeah, that's everybody's hair is going to be on fire for another 4 years.
Well, yeah,
which,
I mean, even
which
if
is tough.
even if he turned around and became Abraham Lincoln in the second term, he would be.
Yeah, he just can't win.
He can't win.
Can't quite picture that
No,
for some reason.
no.
Well, yeah.
But now Nikki Haley, one of my daughters, I think it was Colleen, said she made some impassioned presentation on her thoughts about pro-life and the abortion, and they said it was actually very palatable what she had to say.
Yeah, I think she was realistic about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's like what Jim was saying. It's a fact of life right now.
Yeah.
That's a poor.
Well, not only first of all, it's
choice
been
of
relegated to the states. So you should be, if you're running for president, you should be, if you're a Republican, you should be trying to figure out a way to run as fast as you can away from this issue.
I could be misquoting Colleen, but she said she'd be the one Republican president that she could maybe accept. So, watch this space. If Nikki Haley can maybe come across as somewhat palatable to Democrat women, who knows? She might
or diffuse it, at least,
or diffuse it,
minimize
yeah.
it as an issue
Yeah.
among people. And if you move toward that, as you say, the broader American consensus on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what she supports and what she said at the debate.
Chris Christie's just a blowhard. For a while there, I thought he'd be interesting, but
Well, he would have been interesting if Trump was on stage.
Yeah.
That would have been
because
his whole mission or reason for even being in the race is
to take down Trump, right?
To just
yeah.
really get after Trump.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Nikki Haley she had a good showing for herself. I actually liked Asa Hutchinson, but he's like Scott. He just doesn't have
There's no name recognition.
There's no name recognition, and there's no charisma to it. But unlike Scott, I thought he had, because he was a governor and he's been around long, he was a little more. So his answers to the questions were just right on.
Mm.
No,
But no one talked about him the next day.
he would be very capable.
Yeah.
But no one was talking about him.
No.
Who's the Indian? Vivek
Ramaswamy. I think he'd be good. I do.
He's an unknown. He's just he's taken advantage of Trump fever and trying to be the new Trump if he gets in. Because I don't know if he may be sincere, but I don't know how sincere he is. He may be just like, okay, well, these guys are against Trump. I'm for Trump.
I don't know. I give a little more credit than that. But he's young.
Yeah.
He's young, and you don't really know a lot about
Right.
him. I think Nikki Haley has been around. She's somewhat known,
established.
Yeah. So you have a little bit better idea about her.
She was a really good performer in the substance of the discussion.
Good. That's what we need.
That was yes.
A little substance these days.
Nobody likes to have substance because then they can say, "But you said."
Yeah,
this.
Exactly. Oh, you took a stand on this.
Took a stand on
No, I
this.
didn't. You misinterpreted me.
So who else we got there? We got the guy from North Dakota. He's nowhere. We got Pence. Pence kind of made a good showing, but no one is going to vote for Pence.
Who was the one who wanted to cut out? Was it Ramaswamy who wanted to cut out all the departments?
Yeah, it is him.
Yeah, I mean,
he
that's
basically
a good
wants to
point.
consolidate or something.
You
right?
could do a lot of that. Get rid of a lot of these. A lot of these guys.
Yeah. The only problem is we don't have right now. They have, because Congress does nothing. Okay, so now we have two branches of government. You got the president issuing executive orders, and you got the Supreme Court
saying they
shooting
don't,
them down.
whether they work or not. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So these the guys are going here. You got to have these departments just to get anything, the resemblance of anything get done. Now, in principle, I go along with this guy. What is this? Why do we have this? Why don't we just consolidate? The president is the executive. He manages the government. That's what an executive is supposed to do.
True.
This is the thing that amazes me. You look at a private enterprise. You look at Jamie Dimon at J.P. Morgan. There's a guy running a company. Could you imagine J.P. Morgan if he's got to worry about getting elected every 4 years?
No.
They get nothing done.
I know.
So what you have, we were a country set up to have a weak central government. And
By design.
By design.
Yeah.
And the power is devolved to the states. The government, the central government, under the president, is supposed to do things like, worry about the currency, Army, Navy, Air Force, so military. And now you got them messing in every detail of our lives. And the states are reduced because the politicians like it that way. They say, Washington has to fix that
We can blame
problem.
them.
Yes. Roads aren't working, Washington.
Well, get rid of your gas stoves. By the way, you can only have 2 beers a week.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stuff coming out of Washington is just blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. And then
It's crazy.
They price of oil going up, so they take the
Take
all
oil
the oil out of Alaska.
Oil reserve
We can't-
out of- Yeah,
they
we
closed
can't-
down
we
Alaska.
close that down, but we're going to worry about ceiling fans and the energy that they do.
It's unbelievable.
It's almost a joke. You wonder, are these guys really thinking, about their ideas? Or
you're right. It's almost okay to think them, but keep them to yourself. Don't you think? Don't you have any conception of what happens is if you give voice to this?
To put a fan up on his house or something. Was it him?
Who? Yes, he wanted
Wasn't
to put
Ron?
a,
Didn't Ron want to put a big fan on, or a big windmill on top of it?
Solar.
Huh? I thought it was a windmill.
Yeah, it was. He was going to do wind turbine.
Right.
Yeah. Can you imagine windmills?
Well, have windmills all around.
Look like the Dutch invaded.
Well, yeah, that was. I mean, it looks funny, but sounds fine.
Did you put a windmill up on your house?
You don't have to do it.
No. Well, the thing is, it's I'm just trying to picture that conversation about gas stoves or ceiling fans. Was it three idiots like us sitting around?
So.
Well, okay, listen to this one, you guys. Wait till you hear this.
And I don't get the gas.
Hold my beer.
I don't get the gas. I mean, I know gas is gas. You're burning gas and the products of burning gas, but how bad can they be when you can burn gas in your house?
Okay, and 10 years ago, natural gas was our savior.
It was.
Right.
Okay, well,
now that's evil.
That's
bad.
natural gas is evil. All right,
The industry is. It's
Yes.
horrible.
What's going to save us? Electricity. Where are we going to get the electricity from?
Coal.
No, the elves. The elves are going to do it.
Yeah, well, okay, so that's it. You want to get from A to F.
Right.
Okay, you want to get there. Okay, how are we going to get there? But
we go right to F.
We just go right to F.
And it makes no sense. There's no plan.
There's no plan to do it.
Magic. Poof. We're there.
And these are the best and the brightest.
But it's Jennifer Granholm. Come on. You got the best and the brightest there.
I think that, you bring, whether it's Jennifer, there are plenty of people who came before Jennifer who were just as bad in the sense that what's the plan? A to F. What's the plan? I understand. We're going to go zero. We're going to go to zero.
Don't worry about it.
Zero emissions. Okay. Sign me up. How are we going to do it? Well, here we are, and then that's A, and now B is going to be, what is B going to be? Well, it's too complicated for you. It's like...
But, Jim, we're being funny, but I think
that's how it works.
I think that's how it works.
Yes.
Okay, we want zero emissions, but, like California is going to do away with all the diesel trucks by 2035. They're all going to be all electric trucks, okay? Well... Okay.
With their electric grid, too.
Yeah, with their how are you going to... Okay, great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, forget what you think of climate change.
Yeah.
You want to do this? Okay. How are we going to get there in 12 years? And it's just, we'll just mandate it.
We're going to mandate it.
It'll happen.
The industry, the business will figure it out.
This is the mindset. We're just going to outlaw anything that produces CO2 and force you to figure it out.
Don't we produce CO2?
We do.
Uh-oh.
We
might be on the endangered list.
I have one I want to use with some of my more liberal friends. We need to get rid of pets. You need to get rid of your cats and your dogs.
Yeah, because they're not necessary.
They're not necessary. They're totally optional. They produce carbon dioxide by breathing.
Yep.
You got to feed them. That means you have to get food for them. That means you got to process.
Yep. Means factories.
Animal byproducts.
Yep.
That means you have to raise animals. So cows are producing CO2, and we have to then feed the cows, which takes biomass and converts it into cow, and then the cow has to be processed to get converted into dog food. And then little Fido gets his little can.
Man, Fido's causing us a lot of problems.
Fido is killing us.
Yeah.
If we only knew.
And how many dogs and cats? I think there is probably
Government's going to limit how many cats.
there's
you
probably a
dogs get.
billion dogs and cats in this country.
Well, instead of China saying how many kids you could have, in the United States it's going to be
How many dogs?
one
you
dog
have?
or one
Okay,
dog, one cat.
I'm not going to be totally cold-hearted. You are allowed to have one dog, and he can't weigh more than 15 pounds.
He can't eat a lot.
Thank you, Dr.
He
Jim.
can't eat a lot.
Okay.
You know,
That's the compromise.
because a small dog loves you as much as a big dog,
That's true.
right?
That's very true.
Yeah. Ding, ding. I don't-
Where's
I
the
don't-
cheers? So I think we've solved the climate issue by getting rid of Fido, but keeping with Fifi.
Tabby.
Tabby. Okay.
We got rid of Tabby and Fido.
Yeah, Spot and Fido are gone.
Well, you got rid. Are you going to keep the cats?
Going to keep the cats. So Tabby, one
See,
cat.
I got-
no, one
I'm-
cat.
I think that's very discriminatory. I think we need to get rid of dogs and cats.
But I thought we compromised. You could keep one of each. That's why I said you can keep Fifi, but you got to get rid of Spot.
Well, I think you can have one animal, and it can't be over 15 pounds.
Right. That's Fifi.
Okay, that's right. But that means
Spot would be over 15 pounds.
Well, you can get a little dog.
Huh?
You got to get a little dog. You got to get a little dog, or you can have a cat,
Yep.
and you can only have one.
Right. Oh,
That's a
one or
start.
the other.
One or the other.
Ooh.
You can't have both.
You can't have a cat and a dog.
That's 30 pounds of carnivore.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we solved that
Consuming
problem.
meat and breathing carbon dioxide.
Once again, the Yacht Club show comes up with a practical
We
solution.
have we have solutions for our problems. if only they'd listen to
If only
us.
the masses would listen. Bring us your problems.
Bring us your problems, and we will solve them for you.
Hey,
Fido.
you're done. You're done.
You're
Fido.
toast,
You're
Fido.
toast.
It's always great to solve a problem before we sign off. Gents, it's been real. It's been too long.
It has been a
We gotta
while.
get
been a
back
while.
on
Wow.
track
Yeah.
here.
It's hard.
Yep.
It's hard when you're retired to get
That's right.
everybody
Yeah, you
together.
don't have to find any free
You
time.
got
That's true.
to get it in, squeeze it into your calendar.
That's right. That's true.
Yep.
That's true.
Any parting words of wisdom or any sign off?
Go Lions!
Yeah,
Lions.
Lions. They got, and mine is every time you clean something, you make something else dirty.
Oh, profound.
Another one of those.
Yeah, just think about that.
Things to
Just
ponder.
Give that some thought, along with Fido and Tabby.
All right.
Michael, you have what about you? You got something for us?
No, you guys are the sign-off experts. I just,
All right.
you're
I'm going to have to work on my sign-offs. I got to come up with something. I like yours, Dave. That was good.
that all
It was
right?
very thoughtful.
Yeah. Well, you got to think.
That's true.
That's where you come here to.
Wow, we didn't
to
think when we came up with our climate solution. Why should we start thinking now?
No. Well, we laugh, but I can see somebody coming up with that. What wasn't it? Gore who wanted to get rid of the cows, or you
Cows.
could-
Yeah,
somebody
somebody
or
wanted-
somebody-
Well,
somebody
no one
wanted
should
that.
eat meat anymore.
Yeah. So
Well, cows are. Oh man, that's like the bubonic plague
That's another show.
Yeah,
the cow,
it is.
the cow
of
issue.
CO2. Those people.
All right, until
All right.
next time. This is the Yacht Club Show.